Thank you for joining us. Let's start with where you are. You're out on a scouting mission this afternoon. We can hear the birds in the background. Let us know where you are and what's happening.
Yes, hi Tio and Neve. I'm currently at the Proctor Cup, which is held in the regional area of New South Wales in Bathurst. It's held each year for male and female footballers, and this year there's actually 121 teams from across Australia competing in this tournament from U14 to U17. So it's a tremendous weekend.
What an awesome place to be in gorgeous weather conditions by the looks as well. We're going to have a look at your squad that you named this week for the young Matildas right now. And one thing that absolutely stands out is just how strong the Liberty A-League contingent are there within your side. How big a platform is the league for your young Matildas team?
Look, it's definitely a very exciting group of players. I think we've named 21 players in the squad that actually are playing or training on training scholarships with A-League sides. And just in saying that, there's also other players that are outside of the Liberty A-League that are being considered and players abroad. So this is a preliminary squad until we name our final squad for Asian Cup, which is our Youth World Cup qualifiers, round one. And the door's certainly open for a lot of players across the country and abroad that are available for Australia.
Now, Leah, we saw Melbourne City name a player, the first 2007-born player on the bench today, Kira Meyer. She didn't get subbed on, though, so we still haven't seen a 2007-born player play in the A-League just yet. But your age range for this team, it's 2004 to 2006, if I'm not mistaken, and talk us through sort of the age range of the players that you're looking at building to your next tournament cycle.
Correct. Our oldest cohort sits at 2004, and then obviously we've got 2005, 2006s who are eligible. Previously in World Cup selections, we've seen the lower end age group selected. I think we had 7 come to our last Youth World Cup who are now eligible for this Youth World Cup, which again, I'll reiterate, this is a brand new squad, and everybody who's coming into the environment and performing well outside of the environment still remain strongly considered.
Match minutes are precious, as we know, but not every player is a regular in their A-League women's team. There's a few NPL players in there as well. We know that the league's expanding with Central Coast coming in. What do you actually think is sort of the optimum size of the league in order to, without compromising on quality or without opening up the gap between the strongest and developing players? What actually is sort of the balance of how big the league needs to get in order to give optimum minutes to players that are coming through?
Look, I think expansion is excellent. The more teams we can add and keep that balance of quality, which is a fine line between our youth players as well as the quality of the internationals we're bringing into the league as well. That's extremely important for our expansion. The more games there are, the more opportunities there are for players to receive match minutes. And just touching on that, Teo, like match minutes are obviously extremely important, but if you are a player that is at a bigger club and maybe not getting as much game time as others are, then we're certainly in a position where we've been topping those players up with additional conditioning and those kind of things to try and bridge that deficit and put everybody on an equal playing field.
Hi Leah, Brianna here, and I had the pleasure of meeting Daniela Galich's family at the game last week. And so is there a lot of pressure of her to make the Matilda squad?
Knowing Danielle Galich for a long time now, the kid goes out and she just takes each game by game, and she loves football. So I don't feel like there is pressure on her because she loves the game and she plays the game for herself. If it comes for her sooner than later, fantastic. However, it comes at different times. I don't see the need to rush this player. And if you're putting one in, you've got to take one out, right? So I think that some of the Matildas who are performing very, very well might have something to say about that.
Hey, Leah, you're in Bathurst. When are you back? When are we commentating a game together again?
I leave very early tomorrow morning via the Blue Mountains, a quick sleep, pack my bag for camp in Melbourne Monday, and I'll see you in the studio on the way in.
These two games, of course, they're against Western United and Melbourne City. And those are two interesting tests because they have a lot of train-ons and a lot of young players as well. So what is it you want to get out of these games?
Look, we have a need to come up against different style of opponents. So if we look at how City play and we look at the physicality of the Western side and the fact that, with the recent announcements, Western aren't losing a lot of players with the FIFA window, and then obviously Melbourne City have a strong cohort of players. We just thought it was an optimal time to play against these two squads. It'll give us an opportunity to see how players adapt in a little bit more of a tournament scenario, given the closeness of the games. As well as to see others who we haven't had in the environment for a number of reasons recently that I'm excited to see back on the pitch playing and putting their best foot forward.
Leah, we hope the games go really well. Thank you so much for joining us on Dub Zone today.
No worries. Enjoy the rest of the games. Thanks, guys.